Hello guys, this is ayamase stew, that is ofada stew. You know that rice that they normally serve in a leaf, African rice. This is that stew. This is the stew that you should use in that your leaf rice, though that rice I'm going to cook another day. So this is how I prepare mine. I will be using chicken, bomo and shaki to prepare this. So to my washed beef, I have added my onions and bay leaves, and I'm going to start seasoning this. And this is ginger powder that I'm using. My ginger, I like my ginger in my stew because it helps the bloating, it helps your food to digest very well. That is why I like it. This is onion powder. I like the flavor and the taste, the aroma it gives to my stew and to everything I'm cooking. And this is basil powder, that's basilico in Italian. So I'm going to add a seasoning cube, 2 seasoning cubes. I'm going to add seasoning cubes, and I will also add salt to this and stir it together. Turn on my heat and I will allow it to cook in its own juice. I like cooking it. When you cook it in its own juice, it's going to absorb all the flavors and all the spices that you have put inside, and it will make your meat tasty and as well as your stew. So that's why I normally boil it like this in its own juice. You can see this is after some time it has released its juice. Now I add my bomo and a little water and allow it to boil. And so my vegetables, you are going to be using much green in this. Make sure the vegetables that you are using are green. If at all you have to use ripe ones, but just few ripe ones, but mainly it should be green. So I'll blend them and put them aside. Mainly I'm using peppers more than tomatoes, just a few tomatoes and green tomatoes, 1 or 2 ripe, or not very ripe one, but make sure you are using green. That is ayamase stew for you. You have to use green. So now I'm frying my meat because the meat is already cooked. It's time for me to fry it. I like it fried. Then after frying my meat, I'm going to add onion to that same oil I use in frying that meat and bring it to a saute. Let it saute a little while. Then after it is brown like this, I am going to introduce my pepper mix that I have just blended. I roughly blend it. It shouldn't be all blended, just roughly blend like this. Add it to that oil and start to fry. I love this stew so much, and one of the reasons I don't like making this stew, because it doesn't last in my house. This stew does not last. Each time I make this stew, it's going to last only 2 or 3 days. They are going to finish it because it's always sweet. So now I added sweet pepper. That is tatashe. We call it tatashe. That's sweet pepper. I added it. It's not very ripe. That like it's kind of ripe but not ripe, so I added it. And you continue to fry this until all the oil settles on top of your mixture. That's when you know it's done. I like frying my stew very well. If you know me, you know that I like my stew very fried. So this is it right here. When it is ready, you see the tomatoes and the peppers start to kick together like this. This is when, how you know that your stew is ready, is getting ready, in short. So now I'm going to add proteins to the stew. This is how I like to cook all my stews. Then add your protein, you fry them together like that. Your protein is going to taste good, it's going to absorb the stew. If you know me, this is how I like to cook mine. So you add it to it and fry together with that mixture so that it can absorb all the goodness. And don't forget to add your crayfish, your ayamase. You have to add crayfish. If you have panla, please do add, you know, that panla fish. So this is my seasoning powder I just added to it. This seasoning powder is amazing. It tastes and the aroma is top notch. So I like that. So now I am going to add the meat stock to my stew, and you stir. Then I added my crayfish later on, but you have to add your crayfish. If you have your dry fish, please do add your dry fish. and crayfish enhances the taste of this ayamase stew. Yes, I tell you, I kid you not. At this point I tasted for salt, and I decided to add a little bit of salt to it, and this is me now adding my dry crayfish to it. If you like, you can blend this crayfish, and if you like, you can just add it like that. Even if I added blended one, so I still want this whole crayfish in it. I like that taste that crayfish gives it. And what is your ayamase stew without your boiled egg? Hello, you have to add your boiled egg to your ayamase stew, and this you can serve with your rice, with your yam, boiled potato. You can add, you can use it with your ripe plantain, and what have you. So don't forget to share this video, don't forget to like, leave your comments. Are you going to try this? Let me know in the comment section.